Oh, we are gonna get this day fired off. I'm in my house dress because honestly, now that I am completely convinced that the rough draft is ready for test reading, I'm gonna relax for just a little bit. I gotta do some read back still myself, but I'm in a good place right now. You okay, honey? Having this novel done has really given me some perspective on not giving up on things, on not letting the self-doubt of, well, you did it once, but it was probably a fluke, get to me, because that gets to you sometimes. You work so hard on your writing and you get in your head that maybe you're just not good at this. Maybe you shouldn't do this. And then you finish and you're like, yeah, I can get this done. As you notice, the bike isn't making that much noise. Last night, the hubby realized that the seat was a bit loose. So he got home from work. He was like, is there any problem? I was like, I think the seat on the bike feels a bit wobbly. He got the tools out and he got to work. And so you might not hear squeak again for a while, but you know, it just shows that he cares. I sent him off to work today just with a smile. We went to bed early last night because I've been going full throttle at the start of this month with the Girl World stuff, with covering election stuff. And it's getting close to a time that I normally take a bit of a break anyway. I'm going to try not to because I haven't had many, if any, nightmares this year about it. And it shows the level of contentment that I'm in where I'm not. And I've had dreams about New York, but I haven't had any that I can remember, and none of them about past stuff. So I think this year I may not have to take a few days away because it's not really like I'm celebrating the anniversary of things. It's just a lot of times, especially a few years back, it would all just come back and leave me not wanting to deal with people or anything. And right now, with all the things that I got going on, with all the things that I plan to complete, all the new projects I hope to work on and get completed as well, I just can't keep focusing on the past. But speaking of which, you know I listen to Gab in the morning. I think she's still ongoing as we are on the bike. But for me, listening to Chantel continue to dismiss her issues as, well, I can't help it. There's nothing I can do about it right now. It's all too hard. Whenever I think about the change, I just panic. And when she's told you need to get help, she scoffs at that too. She ate a shit ton of food this week. When I do the video slideshow on Saturday, it's going to show you that I don't even really need to show her videos to show her whole week of just doing the same repetitive cycle and saying the same things over and over. Trying to reinvent her history, trying to make it seem like we're the crazy ones for pointing out her lack of consistency in anything but damaging herself. She legit thinks that she can control the narrative as she eats a small family meal and says things like, well, fit to fed, or I forgot the young lady's name that she brought up, or obese to beast. They didn't show all the ups and downs. They started this when they were already in a better place, and it's like, does it matter? Are you really going to start pitting yourself against people? Are you that desperate for their attention? Because I'm telling you, this whole week was just Chantel doing her best to start with anybody so that she can get attention and views. She can say no, she can say that we're wrong, but come on. Anybody with a brain could tell that that was her MO this week. She's allegedly got that big ass trip, even though the way she's eating this stuff, I don't see how. Coming up with scats. So, I do not, for the life of me, understand how she doesn't get that we see that this is just an attention grab. And she knows that there are creators that are going to watch, going to report, going to show her ridiculousness. I don't see why she's trying to start with Obese to Beast or that other lady to get their attention. But to say that somebody doesn't show their ups and downs and therefore you're trying to invalidate the message that they give the people who they want to see get to a place where they are or better is ridiculous, Chantel. Your jealousy at anybody who's willing to put their life first, their health first, to find ways to live outside food addiction is noted. But for you to tell any creator who really knows where you were because they struggled with supermorbid obesity too and decided that this ain't the life I want to lead. This ain't the trap I want to be in. There are better things to live for in this life, and having an active physical routine while reducing caloric intake, making smarter choices when you eat, and not always challenging yourself or rewarding yourself with food is the way to go. And that's the thing I don't think she understands. I am not watching a 1 hour, 30-minute ad, YouTube. Get the fuck out of here. What is wrong with this site? 1 hour, 30-minute ad. Y'all are on some crack. Getting back to what I was going to say about the heifer, because that threw me off. Whew. The fact of the matter is, I'm loving Karina Kapoor. She talking about more COVID. But for you to go there and act like people owe you that, their struggles, while they get to their goal weights. The nerve. You talk about resetting, but you never really tried. And all the archive things, because I know you think because you deleted them it didn't happen, you constantly showed that while you would say, I'm on a weight loss journey, guys, I'm changing up, I'm doing a water fast, I'm going vegan, I'm doing this and that, you knew you were lying that whole time. You never wanted to change because you don't have real reason to change. You're financially incentivized to continue on this dark path of indulging your addictions. You're incentivized to whine about having to walk or do any extended activities. You reward yourself with food for doing less than 5 minutes of real physical activity. And I keep saying that. Food is the issue, Chantel. I know you'll be like, yeah, I know. I'm an addict. Blah, what do you want me to do? I want you to realize that just acknowledging the problem is no longer the first step. Because a lot of people, including Repsion, who is the real person who opened my eyes to who the fuck you were 3 years ago, and I am so glad that I didn't fall for his let's pity her okie doke. Because he said, well, she realizes the problem with her food addiction, and we should, stand with her, because I have family members that went through that, and owning your addiction is the first step. She's been having that first step for almost fucking 8 years. You can't keep patting somebody on the back for realizing they see the problem when they have no intent to do something about that problem. You can't keep giving them head pats and ass slaps for starting but not really following through. You can't keep pretending that all the bullshit that she says to herself, that she parrots from watching videos like mine, Obese to Beast, all the reaction channels, is enough. Because it's not. She is literally throwing her life away for views. And it wouldn't just be about these failed health resets, as she wants to call them. These journeys to nowhere. If you didn't add in the cruelty of how she is with the animals in her life. The selfishness of putting a potential partner through having to go from husband to caregiver. The fact that she is so willfully oppositional and defiant to any advice that could help her. Because honestly speaking, even at this size that she's at, just reducing the caloric intake, the sodium intake, cutting out the sodary drinks for actual just water, even if it's water with mint or water with lemon. She could do so many changes gradually that could help her get initial pounds off, and then add the 10 minutes of stamina that she liked to mention. And I know some people go, well, Tish, she watches a lot of people. She could have got that from anywhere. But it's funny, I've had several FitBangs where I told her that when I started this, almost 3 years ago, it'll be 3 years in November, I could barely go 10 minutes without feeling like I was dying. There were times where I finally got up to near an hour on this bike. And I got sick at the end of last year into this year. And I went back to my 20, 5 days a week, 2 days off. Now I'm back to 30, 5 days a week to 2 days off. Lows happen, heifer. Almost called her a hoe, but we know that ain't accurate. Stumbles happen. Real life gets in the way of your routine sometimes. But not giving up will always be the difference between you and I. Because honestly speaking, if you didn't have a history of what you did to the cats in Canada, no matter how much you want to argue that, well, animal control came and they didn't do anything, they didn't take the cats, they said everything was fine. I've got paperwork. I don't know how to look for it yet, but I got paperwork. I'm going to sue everybody. Even with actual weight loss, Chantel, I think you need to hear this yet again because I know you watch, bitch. You will be forever, I don't even want to say hated. People are just sick of you. They're sick of your same shit, and they're tired of you invoking innocent animals into your exploitative addictions. You can say all you want about how much you care about Julia. You've eaten enough meals to get a shit ton of cats spayed and neutered in Kuwait. And you can't even take care of the cat that you say, oh, I'm her mama. You just want us to continue the narrative that you are channeling the kind of childhood that you have, thinking food is the only answer to caretaking for pets. When we took Callie in, because she was a yard cat, there was a whole litter that was born under my neighbor's place, and they kept coming to our house, so we started feeding them. There was a litter of, I believe, 5 or 6 of them. One of them passed, which was sad, and we had tried to get Callie and the little orange cat that we think was her brother, Toki. We named them both. Callie was the only one that came inside, and then we started work, because she was only like 4 or 5 months at that time, on getting her from feral to dealing with humans. It was a slow process. Trust was not easy for her because she was used to living outside. Toki was not that into it, but he would still come to the house for food, so we fed him outside. But Callie slowly got used to being an indoor cat. We got her to a vet, one of the best vets I think in Michigan. They are the sweetest people. We had to get her shots in, because she had started to go in the heat. I did my study, because I didn't realize kittens could go in the heat that soon. And it was a rough go. I think Greg wanted to put her back outside those weeks of her meowing and kind of just being loud. But we didn't give up, we didn't give in, because we were the ones that decided to bring this kitten into our home and make her a part of the family. Once the heat was cleared up, we brought her in for another checkup, and then we got her spayed. She had to wear that cone of shame. I still got the picture of that. She was so done. They had to shave her little paw, and they put a little bandage on it with, like, I think it was leopard print. And we follow up with routines for her and Max, the senior cat that his grandfather had and that his parents took care of, and now it's our job, along with Miss Kitty, who are our barn cats. Callie went from only being cooped up inside all day when we lived in Saginaw to having a whole land to run around most of the day, which she does with the other cats. practicing and failing at hunting like the wild turkeys and shit that come out here. The thing about taking a pet into your life is they're not an accessory. They really do become a member of your family that you can cherish and watch grow, that depend on you for things. And while cats are a bit more independent when it comes to what they want to do during the day, they still require love. They like pets and they like attention. They don't want to be left in the background. They don't want to eat food off a dirty floor. They don't want to walk around in their own feces. And they like treats besides the crunchy ones from time to time. I'm telling you, that true shit that I buy for them is like kitty crack. They will eat that stuff up like it's fucking filet mignon, and it is always funny. When I come out there, or when I open one up to get Callie out from under something, it's instant. They know that true, and they love it. So it's like I said, Chantel, no matter how big you get, no matter how small in your mind you think you're gonna get, the shit you have done over the years, the embarrassing way you have carried yourself for views, the fact that pets are an accessory to you, the fact that you're willing to put yourself into dire straits just to stick it to people who don't give a fuck at this point. We take what we can from the shit that you put on the internet, we put our spin and our talk on it, and we keep it pushing. And I think that's what upsets you the most. You want us to hate you because you know we'll never like you. And a lot of us are starting to get to the point where we're just meh. We just don't care that deeply anymore because we know where you're headed. I might not have been there for that other woman, and I don't speak ill of the dead. I'm sorry, it's just the way I was raised. But when I say that I can see the parallels from the docuseries that I watched on her and what you're about to go through, if you keep being defiant, I can't help but see it. And I think you want that. I think you want bedbound. You want to prove to us that Salah will take care of you like her partner did. You want to convince us that when you pass, we'll all regret it. There might be some. Everybody has somebody who's going to be like, oh, I miss those days of Crackhead Olympics. I miss hearing her say lies and stuff. The rest of us will just move on because Girl World is a very vast place, full of people who are willing to make their lives content while displaying really bad decisions and poor life skills. You are not a special unicorn, Chantel. You're not even unique. As I listened to Karina Kaboom break down Amber Lynn's stuff, and I'm going to cover that on Saturday too, because she tried to clap back Beck's interview. And once again, Amber, you can't deny the way you treated Beck. There's archived videos of how you treated her. And a lot of us are under the consensus that Beck was probably the most poorly treated partner outside perhaps Crystal and Casey that you had. But Casey wasn't as online except the lies you told about him. And Crystal and her family didn't want you constantly documenting their lives. So Beck is the one that we have legitimate archive receipts on how poorly you treated them. How during renal failure, you made them take you around because you're the queen bee, right? It's sad. It really is sad the way you all behave and you think it's about you being fat. Bitches, I'm fat. I'm fat on the internet. But you know what? The main reason why my chat comments aren't filled with constant negativity is because people see, yeah, she's a big girl, but she'll exercise. She's a big girl, but she says a lot of things that we can nod our head to. They don't see me saying, well, guys, I'm going to do a performative weigh-in. I'm going to show you the constant up and down fluctuations of weight. I am going to show you that I'm serious about this, but then I'll sit and I'll eat a massive mukbang because, you know, that'll help lose weight. Not. The fact of the matter is, it's not your body size for a lot of us, though. I know there's some people that look at 500 plus pound women as, what the fuck is wrong with you. It really is your everything. Your arrogant attitude, the way you treat people around you, the way you neglect and fail to take care of your pets properly. The fact that there's archive footage of you being like this, especially you Oklahoma homewrecker. I still remember my introduction to Michael B. Patty was that clip of him saying that you could have took Twinkie to the vet and looking up said vet, and it was right down the road from the Chili's that you went out to eat instead. Beck did you a solid by saying that she believes you love those pets, but there is a difference between superficial love and knowing that you are responsible for these beings' life. You brought them into your house, and it is on you to properly care for them. It's just messy, y'all. And as we are constantly reminded that life is not promised, what you do during this life counts. It doesn't matter if you stumble. It doesn't matter if you mess up. It doesn't matter if life made it so hard for you that you had to turn to escape that you knew were hurting you. The moment you realize that problem and you don't just sit and talk about it, but you're about that life of changing it. Whether your recovery is 2 days, 3 days, weeks, months, years. The moment you realize that you don't want to be trapped and you don't want to die to an addiction that seemed like a good escape, you are a champion and a warrior. And you are not like these girls. And I think a lot of us are in Girl World watching this because we know what that life was about. We know what it was like to use food, alcohol, or other illicit substances as an escape. We know what it was like to think that that temporary dopamine hit was going to be enough to get us out of whatever bad rut we was existing in. Because we weren't living, y'all. We were existing in it. But then when we realized that there wasn't a hit strong enough, there wasn't an amount of food satiating enough, there wasn't a drink that could make us feel confident enough anymore, we took the steps to not completely kick our demons, because no matter what, they will always loom behind you. You realize that I can keep walking further and further ahead of those demons and not let them trap us. That is the difference between you, me, and others who are now survivors. Continue it on. We don't make excuses for our past. We own that shit because we know we're not there anymore. We show our battle scars because we're not ashamed of ourselves, because we know we're in a better place. We don't play games like these heifers do with making excuses. Well, you can't blame me. I have mental illness. You can't blame me. It's my addiction and I just don't know how. And I'll ignore all the advice to get help for it. I'll ignore all the advice that says therapy, proper routine, sleeping, and everything else will help you out, because they don't want to give up that addiction. They don't want to give up that dopamine hit. They just want everybody to feel sorry for their issues that are all self-inflicted. And then they want to deflect that, well, other people are just like me. Why don't you pay attention to them? Another person's bad does not erase yours. And it's up to people to individually decide whether somebody is bad enough the way they don't want to associate with them or not. I make my decisions based off whatever. There's no rhyme or reason to who I like on YouTube. I just find people entertaining. I find honesty, whether it's brutal, whether other people like them or not, refreshing. There are people that I just don't fuck with. I don't enjoy listening to them. I don't enjoy the shit they do for views. That is my personal choice. I don't draw factions. I don't assume stuff about people based on who they enjoy. But I see that going around, and you know what? Ain't nothing you can do about it. All you can do is focus on you. And my focus is to continue to make great written work, especially graphic novels. I'm excited about getting started on those now. Publish my novels, watch my child grow, work on, hopefully soon, a newer one. Cherish my husband, my home, and my peace. Because protecting my peace became a big key when I hit 40, and now that I'm 47, it is a constant mantra. That's why you don't see me beefing back and forth with people who keep trying at me. That's why you see how I just keep it 100 with everybody. If I don't like you, I don't fuck with you. If I do like you, I will do my best to appear when I can, show up, talk out, but I also have to have that balance of my life. As much as I enjoy being in people's chats, watching live streams, there are so many of you now that I enjoy that it is damn near impossible to be on YouTube 24/7 for me. I do not. Like last week, I was on YouTube a lot more than I had planned, and my husband was patient and nice, but last night it was really nice to just have actual downtime with him. And yeah, before I went to bed, I popped on my phone to heart some comments and stuff, but I have got to work on realizing that it'll be there in the morning. It'll be there. They don't disappear. I don't have to make this my life constantly. It's fun, and there will always be a piece of everything I'm involved with. But now that I'm done with the novel, I want to get back to fun hobbies. Maybe get some craft string keychains started. Get some coloring done, or even sketching. Read. I have so many new mangas and books. I have a series that was recommended to me by a young lady in a stream that I sat in yesterday that I got to get off the bookshelf. There's going to be so much that I can do because I'm going to give myself about 6 weeks of good downtime to just enjoy hobbies and stuff again. We got a trip to a couple of towns over because my husband's going to be doing a conference in September, and he just wants to drive out there because he's never been out that way. Because it's a big state, y'all. And he was not one for traveling before we got together. But now we're going to do a day of it. Go out there, see the town. Because he's driven past it or through it, but he's never gone around it. There is so much that you can devote your time and energy to. And still have fun on YouTube. There's just got to be a balance. Because life without balance is chaos. And as much as I like chaos, I say I'm the den of chaotic neutrality, it can get overwhelming. You can get burned out. You can start feeling less and less, even wanting to be engaged in the YouTube antics. And people will start to miss you when that happens too. You might not think it that. There are a lot of names that I enjoy seeing on a regular, on a daily, whether it's in the morning, in Yaba Stream, in the afternoon, in Sam's, or in the evenings at Frenchie's, that I see on a regular, and it is fun to interact with them. Some of them have my email, and we've been talking via email. Some of them even managed to get my number, and they realize even though I'm an introvert, they don't call, but they can shoot a text. Because developing friendships online is possible. You have to be careful though, but it is possible to meet somebody that you talk to for a few days and evenings for over a year, even if it's just snarking, somebody who's willfully defiant, and you realize, I enjoy talking to this person. I really do. And then you talk outside of YouTube and you realize, this person is really fun to talk to. And we don't always have to talk about the heifer stuff. A lot of people I talk to offline share either views close to mine, or even if it's a little bit different, we respectfully talk about politics. We talk about crafts. We share recipes. So never act like you can't make friends with people online. You just have to be careful. Because friends shouldn't try to pressure you into who you can like. Friends shouldn't tell you who you can enjoy. Because we're all older broads and men here. And you should be able to do what you want. And your friends should understand. But alright, y'all. That is 30 minutes of me sweating. I am going to go cool down, wash up, make some lunch for kiddo and I, get back to read back and listening to whoever's live or whatnot, because I can have y'all on in the background as I do it. I hope you all have, and even Karine is talking about the BBJ rescue because she keeps bringing it up. Chantal, nobody believes you. But I hope you all have a great day. Thank you all for sitting in with this. I seen that Sabine's daughter hit their goal. I gave what I can. I have a lot of things that I want to get paid off as well. So I'm not making excuses, but I did want to help out. And I am so proud of all of you who did help out, who shared the the GoFundMe link for her daughter. She'll be able to get over to Germany now and hopefully lay her mother to rest. Meet up with the family who just had to deal with her aunt's passing too. It was a rough time. So I want to thank everybody that helped out with that. Especially Garlic Bread, he covered, from what he showed, the remaining thing to get them to 7K. This community is full of people who care. Don't let the haters try to convince you that we're all just mean people, we're all just bad and awful people. Some of us really do look out for one another and enjoy each other's commentary. So I'm going to go, y'all. Get ready for the day. I hope you all have a lovely day. And I'll see y'all in the next FitBang.